Hello everyone, welcome to my new YouTube channel Psychology Patha. I'm your psychologist friend Shreya. So this channel will exclusively cater to psychology students, especially the second PUC students, because I'll be covering the topics according to the second PUC syllabus, which will be very helpful for the students to study as well as revise. So today I'll be dealing with the first chapter of the syllabus, that is intelligence. According to you, what is intelligence? Give your opinion regarding what is intelligence in the comment section. So this is the actual definition and meaning of intelligence. Intelligence is nothing but the capacity for understanding, ability to perceive and comprehend meaning. So the first part, the capacity for understanding. Capacity for understanding is nothing but the ability to understand the situation. Next is ability to perceive. Ability to perceive is nothing but ability to process information that we receive from our senses. For example, while walking on the road, I will suddenly see a snake. So after seeing that, I know it's very dangerous for me. So the senses will react to it. So I'll just try to walk away from the situation because I know it is dangerous. So that is the ability to perceive the situation and as well as comprehend meaning. Comprehend is nothing but ability to understand a particular situation. As I gave the previous example, I see a snake. I know it is very dangerous as it's going to bite me. So I will run away from there. So I'm comprehending the situation or understanding the situation. So this is the basic definition of intelligence. That is, I'm able to understand the particular situation. I'm able to perceive. That is, my senses are sending messages to me as well as I'm able to comprehend. That is, I'm able to act according to the situation. So there is not just one basic definition. There are so many definitions of intelligence given by various psychologists and researchers. So these are the two people's definition of intelligence. So these are two psychologists. So Alfred Binet, that we will be talking about him in the coming further PPTs. Alfred Binet gave the definition of intelligence, saying that judgment, otherwise called good sense, practical sense, initiative, the faculty of adapting oneself to circumstances. So basically, Alfred Binet is saying that it is the ability to sense as well as take initiative and act accordingly, and as well as adapt to the circumstances. So that is the basic meaning of intelligence according to Alfred Binet. Next is David Wechsler. So David Wechsler is also one of the psychologists, which we'll be discussing about him in our later PPT. So he gave the definition that the aggregate or global capacity of the individual to act purposefully, to think rationally, and to deal with his environment. So David Wechsler said that it is the ability to act purposefully, that is, act according to the situation, think rationally. For example, as I told in the previous example, I see a snake that is very dangerous. So I think rationally. So what I do, I try to run away from that situation and deal with the environment. So I want to save myself from that danger. So I run away with the environment where I go to some other place. So that is the definition given by David Wechsler. So this is Alfred Binet. Alfred Binet is the French psychologist, and Alfred Binet is the French psychologist. He came up with the first intelligence test, and Theodore Simon, both of them came together with the first intelligence test. They collaborated for this, and they came up with the first intelligence test. So first, let us talk about who is Alfred Binet. So Alfred Binet was a French psychologist. So he was the first person or first psychologist who developed the intelligence scale. Okay, so this test originated because the French government wanted an instrument or a scale that identified kids who needed remedial studies or who needed extra attention in their studies. So for this initiative, he collaborated with Theodore Simon. So they created the Binet-Simon intelligence scale. So for this purpose, both Alfred Binet and Simon collaborated. So this is not the original Simon Binet test, but this test was later modified by Louis Terman, and this is the Stanford Binet test. And as you all know, today we are not supposed to use words like moron, imbecile, idiot, and all that, but it was used before. That is during the 20th century. So Binet and Simon developed a series of tests to basically assess mental abilities. So they did not focus on just learning information or learned information such as maths and reading. Binet also focused on other mental abilities such as attention and memory. So basically this test was later revised by psychologists named, as I said in the previous PPT, that is Louis Terman, and it was known as Stanford Binet test. So the original purpose of this test was basically it was used for those who needed remedials or who needed extra attention in their studies. But later it was also considered for the usage of those who had feeble mind. So Binet himself believed that his test had limitation because intelligence is something that is quite complex and vast, and you cannot use a single measure to identify it or come to one conclusion. So this is David Wechsler. So basically he was the one who came up with different scales and tests. He came up with tests for adults, he came up with tests for children, and he also came up with tests for those who were in their primary schooling as well as in the nursery. So David Wechsler intelligence gave the definition. This is the definition according to David Wechsler. So David Wechsler described intelligence as the global capacity to act purposefully, to think rationally, and to deal effectively with his or her environment. So basically, this is a definition given by David Wechsler. So he said that intelligence is the ability to think rationally or practically so that you'll be able to deal with your environment effectively. So Wechsler came up with the first scale, that is Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale. So this is the first intelligence scale which was published by him in 1955. So it was designed to measure intelligence in adults and older adolescents. So based in what happened in Binet's test was he just emphasized on the intellectual factor, that is memory, attention, reading, writing, etc. But David Wechsler said that there are other factors that contribute to the intellectual ability which the individual has. For example, it could be environmental factors, parental factors, or so many other factors. So David Wechsler said that it is not just intellectual factors, there are other factors that contribute to the intellectual ability of a person. So this is the Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale. So this scale has different subtests to test the intelligence of an adult. So basically, Wechsler objected the single score given by Binet. So Binet gave this scale score calculation like that is MA, that is mental age divided by chronological age into 100, and you would get a single score for it, right? But he said that you cannot come with only a single score for intelligence. So Wechsler did not agree with the Binet's way of calculating intelligence. So he took into consideration non-intellectual factors also, though he did not use it in his test, but he considered it. Okay. So Wechsler intelligence scale was developed in 1939. From this, so first he came up with the adult intelligence scale. That was the first test. So later, after using this test, that is Wechsler adult intelligence scale, he came up with Wechsler intelligence scale for children. So this test used this test was used to test the intelligence of children. So this test came into existence in 1949. So later on, he came up with other tests for school children, especially children who were studying in the pre-primary and primary school or the pre-nursery school. So Wechsler created these tests in order to find out about his patients at this Bellevue clinic and found the current Binet IQ test unsatisfactory. As I told before, Wechsler did not agree with the IQ scores or the IQ calculation which Binet came up with. It was not satisfactory for him. So Wechsler introduced a new breakthrough in the intelligence testing movement. So he brought a huge change or a huge wave in the intelligence testing movement. So first he assigned an arbitrary value of 100, okay, to the mean intelligence and added or subtracted another 15 points for each standard deviation above or below, and he did away with the quotient scores of older intelligence. So he came up with the arbitrary value of 100. So in that 100, he would add or subtract the 15 points for each standard deviation. And he removed the older intelligence tests calculation, that is the IQ scores which Binet had come up with. And though he modified so many things in a scale, he did not reject the concept of general intelligence. So basically, he did not reject it, but he divided it into two parts. That is the concept of performance, that is non-verbal and verbal scales, and basically he divided into two, verbal and non-verbal scales. Verbal scales basically involved writing, reading, all that, whereas non-verbal was involved with performance scale, like doing puzzles or solving a puzzle problem, something like that. Okay, evaluate different subtests. So this is how David Wechsler contributed to the field of intelligence. So basically, he brought a huge wave in the intelligence testing. He made lot of contributions to the field of intelligence. So I hope you like the video. So please do subscribe to our channel, because if you subscribe to our channel, there'll be continuity in the topics that you'll be studying, as I'll be following the PUC syllabus, as well as hit the bell button to get further notification from our channel, because if you hit the bell button, you'll get first notification from our side, so you can study according to the topics. So I hope you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, share it with your friends who are in their second PUC, as well as hit the bell button to get further notification from our channel. And yes, I'll be coming up with the next video on next Friday. And yes, please do comment, because if you comment, I'll be able to understand where I should improve upon or how I should improve upon, as well as share maximum with your friends. Thank you.